What's up, guys? Matty here, mixandmastermysong.com. Today I'm going to show you the top 5 plugins, or at least my top 5 plugins of 2020. Now, I know 2020 wasn't the best year ever, but there were a lot of good plugins that came out. And these are the ones that I've been using, every day since they came out. These aren't just, plugins I've reviewed or some that I might use and never use again. There's a lot of those. These ones I'm using all the time. So it might be, a good list of a few plugins you might want to check out or purchase for your own mixing. So let's check these out. Alright guys, so number 1 here is Jade by Acoustica Audio. Now this is one of the acoustic audio plugins I feel like has been slept on a little bit this year, but it's actually one of my favorites for vocals now. And whenever I need a little more top end or air or a little warmth or something, this is one of my go-tos. And one of the reasons I like it is because two of the hardware pieces they emulated are my favorites for vocals, which is the Moog EQ and the Clariphonic EQ. And then I like the pre's too, C1 and C2, which I think are a Lindell piece. I'm not 100% sure what these are, but they add a little bit of warmth while this adds a little bit of air to a mix if I need it. And I'll just show you a quick example. This is my buddy Rhea, her song Overdose. You can check her out on Spotify. But let me just play it, and this is just a little setting I had for this mix. A little bit of pre and a little bit of air. This is the Moog setting.
By yourself, all alone, in your bed, every thought on my skin, bringing you to the edge. I lurk in your head, there ain't nobody else who can take you to hell and to heaven again, no. By yourself, all alone, in your bed, every thought on my skin, bringing you to the edge. I lurk in your head, there ain't nobody else.
So you can hear it just adds a little bit of polish to her, and I dig what it does. And if you really need to push it, you can. We're just lightly using it here. But a great plugin by Acoustica. Number 2 is a number 2, and this is Soothe 2. Soothe 1 was great. Everyone loved it. This is taking it even further. It's you can really dial in the frequencies, and each frequency point has a band and a cue and all that. You get your mix, sharpness, depth. Mostly what I'm using is the EQ bands and the depth of how hard I want to hit this. Now what this does, if you don't know anything about Soothe, is it is basically a frequency dependent compressor with a bunch of different points, and it will just take out all the nastiness. It soothes the vocal. And this works really good for piercy percussion-y things. I use this on acoustic guitars a lot, but let me just show you what it's doing here, and I'll push it a little bit so you can really hear it.
By yourself, all alone, in your bed, every thought on my skin, bringing you to the edge. I lurk.
So you can see it's pulling down right here a bit where that some of that high-endness that we don't necessarily want is there. And then, if you want less, it'll push less here. You can bring this down or push it more for more. I have this boost here. This is kind of my starter setting. I have this boosted here a bit for some low-end stuff that I might not like, but sometimes I've already EQ'd that out. So I'll just take this all together because I feel like I can lose some low end if I'm using this too much sometimes. But yeah, let me push it.
By yourself, all alone, in your bed, every thought on my skin, bringing you to the edge. I lurk in your head, there ain't nobody else who could take.
So obviously that's pretty extreme. You got to be careful with this thing because you can push it and kind of take out some of the soul of the vocals. So I end up usually doing it like 3 dB. And then cutting the mix back just a touch, maybe to 72, sometimes a little more. And that will help bring the soul back, but also take out some of the stuff you're trying to get rid of in your vocal. So that is Soothe 2. The next one is actually a number 8. It's RX-8. And they came out with a new guitar fixer, which can take out slides and all this other stuff. And that works great. And it's just an amazing tool. And I use it in every mix, so I thought I would mention it. And I have it all set up on my SoundFlow Stream Deck, which you guys should all check out too. But now I can run through a vocal and clean it up super fast. So if you notice here, I brought this old click back in this vocal, but when I was mixing it, there's a slight click here.
On my skin, bringing you to the edge.
And I can just go through really quick when I'm mixing and say, yep, I got to get rid of that click. I have D-Click on my Stream Deck, and I just hit the button, it pulls it up, processes it, and closes it. And now,
Thought on my skin, bringing you to the edge. I lure.
and it's gone. And it also has, I also have D-Mouth Click, which I get a lot on vocals. Deplosive, which is useful. But the cool thing is I already set the setting, because Deplosive on its own is set to like 300 or something crazy and will take all your low end out. So I saved my settings and I have the frequency down to 127, and then I can just hit Deplosive. If it's a strong P, it will take it out. I usually do these individually as they go along, because sometimes deplosing the whole thing will take some of your soul out. So just be careful when using this thing not to just put it on fully, unless it's really, really bad. The whole vocal is deplosive, then you got a problem, and you might want to re-record it. Okay, so next one is Saturn 2. Saturn 1 was great, but I feel like this sounds way better, and they've cleaned it up. There's a ton of modulation stuff you can do with it as well. I haven't gotten into that. I mostly use it just for the saturation, and I usually split things up into bands, and you can turn them up and down a bit, and then saturate things differently. I'm a big fan of the warm tape section. I also like the gentle saturation or the subtle saturation. And right now I'm using this on bass. I'll just play it and bypass it so you guys can hear it. So you can hear it just generally lifts up the bass, and then you can really just go in. And I also do some heavy saturation on the low end when I got a subby bass that's not cutting through, and then distort the hell out of it, pull it back, and then just turn the mix down and blend it to taste where it just starts coming through. So it's like you're hearing it and you're getting a little more of the definition of the bass, and then but not hearing clear distortion, which is what that was. So an amazing plugin. It works well on vocals, it works well on guitars, it works well on just about everything. And they did a fantastic job of updating that. Last on the list, and I could have done a 10 list because this company, Plugin Alliance, also came out with I think the Lindell 80 came out this year, as well as the SSL 9000, and I use both of those quite a bit. Their TMT technology is probably the coolest thing that came out this year. And but I couldn't pass up this. This is the Amek EQ 200, which is an emulation of the famous GML 8200 mastering EQ that's been used for years and years and years. First of all, this thing sounds really good. Even just running it through gives it a little bit of a sound. And the THD here, you can get a little more harmonics or less harmonics. We want super clean right here, which is nice. I usually leave it at 75. This is where it defaults. But you can just do so much with this thing. This is my initial setting, MH Mat Start. And what I do is I like to use this more for mastering. So I have you can switch the settings to plus 3 dB, plus 6 dB. So 3 dB increments, or what is that? 1.4, just smaller increments, which I like to use for mastering. I'm not really boosting much more than a dB or so when mastering. It has MS, which is super helpful sometimes. And the ability with the auto listen is really helpful for finding frequencies. So if we play this mix.
Two by yourself, all alone in your bed. Every thought on my skin, bringing you to the edge. I lurk in your head. There ain't nobody else who can take you to hell and heaven again. No. Two by yourself, all alone in your bed.
You can dial things in super easy with this thing, and it just sounds great. Little boosted 50, sounds good, or 40. The stereo width, if you're into that, sounds good. I don't like to do a lot of stereo width on my master, but just like 110 will sound good sometimes. Really amazing EQ, and basically my go-to mastering EQ now. just because it's so flexible and it sounds great and there's nothing else needed, you know. It's a really, really great piece of plugin. So that's my list for 2020. I know it was a crazy year, but there's a lot of cool stuff that came out with. And we had plenty of time to play with it because we were all locked in our studios, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Let me know the plugins that came out in 2020 that you are using in the comments below. If you need your song mixed and mastered, hit me up at mixandmastermysong.com. You can also check out my courses and presets there too. Talk to you soon.